Good afternoon and thank you for joining us on CoreTV News on the hour. I am Ebulomo Adekunle. The relative peace of Kano has been shattered with a bomb and gun attack in the ancient city. At least 15 people have been confirmed dead when gunmen struck at the Federal College of Education. The casualties include the two bombers who were part of the attackers. The police confirmed that 30 others were also injured during the attack. This is the second bomb attack on a school in Kano in almost 2 months.
And others, the people that already come from the main gates. Because we are in all sides, so we have already seen the students running from new side to all sides. So when you have already moved close to the gates, what you already have from the students are saying, the people come from the main gate and enter the new side, that is art and social sciences. From that gate, they used to even shoot people from with gun. Any person that they were seen, they will shoot him. Up to the last angle to the new side, that is art and social sciences. They enter art and social sciences, and some of them they will enter new lecture theater with suicide bomb, and the bomb has already been taken, and most of the students have already died from there. And even the course lecturers are already trying to lead down. He kneel down on the ground, and the other people has already been died. So that is what actually happened.
Thank you.
So my name is Hassan.
Hassan,
I think they had an encounter with some of our policemen on the checkpoint outside this place, and they moved into this place. After they fled, after exchanging gunfire with them, they fled that scene, only to emerge in the Federal College of Education school premises here. I think the lectures were going on as at the time they entered, and two explosives were dropped in the lecture theater that is facing us here, and some gunshots. I think there is another one that was carrying AK-47 rifle and some explosives. One of the security agencies shot at him, and the explosion went off, killing him alone by the fence there. So far, what we have is that 15 people are dead. 2 are among the suicide bombers. Then about 34 are currently injured and receiving treatment in the hospital. So far, we've been able to recover some of their rifles, AK-47 rifles, and some of the magazines. So that is the situation presently, because as soon as the information got out, you can see the military, the police, the civil defense, the state security services, immigration, and everybody had to move to the scene. We've been able to ensure that the premises is safe, and we are going to keep our men on ground here to ensure that the place is conducive and safe for now. That is the position.
Thank you very much.
Meanwhile, the police authorities have confirmed that the 2 gunmen who were behind the bomb and gun attack in Kano were shot dead. Spokesman Emmanuel Ojukwu says in a statement issued in Abuja that the gunmen first detonated IEDs in a lecture hall at the Federal College of Education before opening fire on students. He added that 15 bodies had been recovered from the scene, while 34 injured persons are receiving treatment. Police personnel have since sealed the scene of the bomb and gun attack and commenced investigation. President Goodluck Jonathan has commended the prompt action of the police in confronting the perpetrators of Wednesday's bomb and gun attack in Kano. He also commiserated with the residents on the loss of lives recorded when insurgents attacked the Federal College of Education in the city. Speaking through his spokesman, Ruben Abati, the president assured the citizenry of government's readiness to enhance the ability of the security forces to take on terrorists. He urged security personnel to be even more alert and proactive in the future to stop terrorist attacks in Kano and other parts of the country. The police have arrested 89 persons in a village in Kebbi after a mob attacked a police station. The mob action was in response to the rescue of one Adamu Gaya, a Nigerian who was suspected of involvement in a ritual murder. A police team saved the suspect from lynching, and in response, the villagers attacked the police station. Police spokesman Emmanuel Ojukwu confirmed the development and revealed that the mob burned 2 police vehicles and 9 motorcycles. Also smashed were the windscreens of 4 cars parked in the premises. He added that the villagers also burnt the official residence of the divisional police officer during the violence that claimed at least 4 lives. Traditional rulers from northern Nigeria have expressed worry at the dimension the insurgency is taking. The monarchs are particularly concerned by reports that the insurgents have installed new emirs in some of the towns they overran. The Northern Traditional Council expressed dismay over the developments and called on the federal government and security agencies to act fast. Sultan of Sokoto Abubakar Saad III told journalists after a meeting in Kaduna that traditional rulers cannot keep mute over the security situation because their people are being killed daily.
As traditional leaders, we are very concerned and very worried about the happenings in the northern states, most especially the insecurity very prevalent in the northeast in particular and other states in general, and also the economic development or lack of economic development in our various states of the north. We therefore convene this conference of the chairman so as to sit very closely, discuss all issues affecting insecurity and economic development of our region, and then take our case to Mr. President, who is saddled with leading this country by Almighty God.
Reactions have started to trail the recent seizure and arrest of a private jet and 2 Nigerians and an Israeli in possession of $9.3 million on board the aircraft. Against the backdrop of claim by the federal government that the seized plane was on a legal mission to source for arms, a senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, has called for clarification on the issue. Falana, who also decries the link of the aircraft to the president of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Ayo Orisejafo, described the entire development as unfortunate and a shame on Nigeria.
Something just happened 2 days ago in South Africa. $9.3 million was smuggled from Nigeria to South Africa. Again, the plane that was used for that illegal operation is said to be owned by the president of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Reverend Ayo Orisejafo. Efforts have been made, this is very important for all of us. Efforts have been made to play on our collective intelligence by saying that that plane has been leased to another company by Reverend Orisejafo. We have never been told that the pastor has the right under the law to turn his plane to a kabu-kabu and rent it out. For be that as it may, up till now, we have not been told who rented the plane. The government attempted yesterday, the federal government, very embarrassingly, to say that, oh, the federal government is involved in the deal, that fund was sent to South Africa to buy weapons. Of course, since we are fighting Boko Haram, everything goes. But please, we want to ask them, if a government, a legitimate government, is going to buy ammunition in any part of the world, why energy? Why must you hire two private people whose identity we don't know yet, and an Israeli to do that for you, when you have the Ministry of Defense and two ministers in that ministry? Who gave out that contract? But that is not where I'm going. Under the Nigerian Money Laundering Act of 2011, any amount being taken out of Nigeria must be declared at the airport. The sum of $9.3 million was not declared by anybody.
It's the CoreTV News on the hour. Take a break and then we'll return with more stories. Don't go away.
There is an Ebola virus epidemic in some West African countries. The Nigerian government wants you to be aware and watch out against the spread of Ebola in your community. Help keep our country safe and watch out for severe cases of fever, headaches, diarrhea, chest and abdominal pain, sore throat, cough, red eyes and bleeding from the eyes, ears and nose, especially when these symptoms are found in persons coming into Nigeria from other West African countries. Protect yourself. Wash your hands regularly with soap and running water or use a hand sanitizer. Avoid contact with the blood, urine, feces or saliva of animals like bats, monkeys, gorillas, chimpanzees or infected persons. The Ebola virus is deadly. Don't catch it. Don't spread it. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information.
Governors elected on the platform of the People's Democratic Party have resolved to back President Goodluck Jonathan for his second term in office. This is the outcome of several hours of deliberations in Abuja. Chairman of the PDP Governors Forum, Godswill Akpabio, briefed journalists on the decisions reached at the meeting.
Today, the PDP Governors Forum met and discussed a lot of issues that had to do with our dear country, a number of issues that had to do with our dear country and our party. And we merged with this communique. So at the end of our meeting today, we resolve as follows. One, the PDP Governors Forum hereby endorses Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, GCFR President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria, for a second term in office. And we all resolve to further support his bid for re-election come 2015. The PDP Governors Forum urges all PDP faithfuls across the country to support this decision and this gesture, which we believe will enable Mr. President to become the sole presidential candidate of our great party come 2015 election.
The Nigerian authorities insist that the country's entry points are now better manned to prevent the incursion of Ebola. President Goodluck Jonathan gave the assurance in a rare interview with State House correspondents. He also hailed Lagos and Rivers State's government for cooperating with the federal authorities to contain the disease.
There's one thing that the whole country came together, worked together. There were no issues of politics, there were no issues of religion, there was no issues of ethnicity. And that's why we've been able to contain the Ebola. If the whole Nigeria did not agree and work, we wouldn't have succeeded. I must also use the opportunity to thank all the governors, because I met with all the governors and their various commissioners for health, and all the states set up machineries to manage the Ebola, if at all comes up. And I have to specifically appreciate the governor of Lagos State and the governor of Rivers State that we have incidents of Ebola, how they worked with the federal government to manage the situation. Presently, there is no Ebola case in Nigeria. Nobody in Nigeria has Ebola now. All the people that had the symptoms of Ebola have recovered. We lost, out of the 19, we lost 7. and the others have recovered. Yes, there are few people we are still observing. I'm not also saying that we may not record Ebola again, as long as Ebola is still in the West Coast. It is there in Guinea-Conakry, it is there in Liberia, it is there in Sierra Leone. The likelihood that a character like of the late Sawyer may come in through one way or the other is also open. But government is also very mindful of that. Presently, our airports are properly protected. If Sawyer were to arrive in Nigeria now, no Nigerian could have contacted Ebola because of the level of preparation.
A related issue, Nigeria has been free of the Ebola virus disease in the last 1 week. Health Minister Onyebuchi Chukwu disclosed this after this week's Federal Executive Council meeting. He also gave an update on some of the suspected cases as well as the number of people under observation.
Nigeria has for 1 week now had no single case of Ebola virus disease. So presently, as we speak, there is nobody suffering from Ebola virus disease in Nigeria, and it has been so for the last 1 week. Within the week, however, there was a suspected case, a student from Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, but we've concluded all investigations. She was Ebola negative. She's never had any Ebola virus disease. So Ile-Ife, there's no problem there. There's no incident of Ebola virus disease, and nobody is being placed under surveillance in Osun State. So Nigeria has monitored 517 persons, no problems after 21 days. This is total number that we've removed from our surveillance. Of these 517 contacts, 347 were under surveillance in Lagos State, while 164 were in Rivers State and 6 in Enugu. As you already know, there's no problem in Enugu State at all. Nobody there is under any kind of surveillance for Ebola virus disease.
Wants the federal government to immortalize the late Ameyo Adadevoh for a role in stemming the tide of Ebola virus in the country. The lawmakers noted that if she had not personally restrained the late Liberian American, Patrick Sawyer, he would have ended up spreading the virus in the larger community. The Senate also hailed the leadership displayed by President Jonathan and Lagos State Governor Babatunde Fashola in containing the disease.
The deadly Ebola virus crept into Nigeria while the Senate was on recess. Now, within days of resumption, senators are speaking on government's efforts to contain the disease that has killed over 2,000 people in West Africa in only 3 months. The motion was moved by Senator Ifeanyi Okowa, but enjoyed the backing of virtually all senators who signed up as co-sponsors. One after the other, they commended the roles played by the federal government and Lagos State in containing the disease.
As soon as this thing came up, the Lagos State government set up a committee that went around the miracle centers, the churches, to tell them, to plead with them, not to accept anybody in the name of performing miracle. If the Lagos government had not done that, and if the miracle centers did not take to this caution, probably today it would have been a very, very big disaster. So we really need to commend the Lagos State government for being so proactive.
With unity, we can fight and win any battle in this country, including battle against poverty and insurgency. Because of the leadership roles played by Mr. President and the Governor of Lagos and all officials connected with this fight against Ebola in our country.
And now that Nigeria has no new case of Ebola, at least one senator says the time is ripe to allocate funds for research.
1976, 38 years ago. So what happened between that time and the second one? It was not because something was found for the cure, but it went away just for it to come back in a more devastating manner. So for us to prevent future occurrence, we should start from now in allocating money for research in our various university teaching hospitals and other research agencies, so that by the time, we don't pray it comes again, but if it does, at least we will be battle ready to face the scourge.
After the speeches, Senate President David Mark summed up the views of the federal lawmakers by supporting the call for the government to honor the late Dr. Ameyo Adedevu and others who died saving Nigeria from Ebola.
I think we can't thank Dr. Adedevu enough, because she went out of her way beyond anybody's expectation to control Patrick Sawyer, who would have otherwise done havoc much beyond our imagination. And I think the nation would do well to honor her, and indeed other workers in the health industry who sacrifice their personal lives just to make sure that the rest of us are alive.
The Senate consequently urged the government to immortalize the late Dr. Adadevu, demanded better surveillance at all ports of entry. And before adjourning, senators honored all the health workers who died in the course of battling Ebola virus with a minute of silence.
May the soul of Dr. Adadevu and the souls of all those who lost their lives as a result of the Ebola virus disease rest in perfect peace.
And that report wraps it up on the news for this hour. Join us again, top of the hour for more. Thank you for watching. I am Ebulomo Adekunle.